Pero may kasubong sa field, how does it feel? Kita ko sitwasyon ito.
Well, makita mo eh. It's a different feeling when you just talk about it and experience it. That's why 3 days before sang lockdown, we already mobilized my office, abi. And we had to, may equity ka ganyan pagwa. Ganyan kapitalan tagid nga out of my own pocket, nagbakal kita sang relief goods. And to date, we have distributed no less than 15,000 food packs, no, consisting of 2 kilos rice, in some cases, 4 ka sardines, 4 ka noodles. Nakita naton no nga ang tao nga kumatagan mo sini, it elevates not just their stomachs but their moral. Kadako sang diferensya. And food cannot make you survive alone, but ang moral bilang nga may hatag kang nagakabalaka sa ila, regardless if I am a public official or a private citizen, does not matter. So may hatag ka sa ila, kadako sang bagay, and you can see it in the expressions on their face. That's why nga mo na-motivate kami nga sige-sige na lang pangatag as sa subong up to date, no? As of this very day, this very hour, my staff is still nagalibot pa kami panghatag gatas naman niya, no? Powdered milk to ages 2 years old and above, together with biscuits and bread sa sining mga recipients. Makita mo nga lain gid. And I think it's not just what you give them, it's the feeling that they receive that somebody is, voluntarily giving it to them.
You've been councilor for several terms. Pila? Straight 9
After this term, 15 years. I would
years. Yeah. And is this the worst that you have seen so far?
I think this is the worst ever, no? That's why nga sa aton nga nakita, this has never happened. Unprecedented. We cannot blame anybody. Nobody has prepared for this. Nobody can prepare for this. No, hindi mo makitaan kung di na siya naghalin. But then again, sa nakita ko man sa aton experience, sa aton nga pagpanaog sa dalom, makita mo there are a lot of people who care for others. Not just what government can give, but out of their own personal funds, their own personal resources. Nakita ko nga kadamo sa mga private individuals nga that go out of their way to give to their fellow man. Of course, may ara nga sentimento nga it's never enough. But then again, once nga makita mo ang tao nga nakabaton, kag sila nakabatsyag nga may gahatag, kalayo gid ang difference.
But don't you think nga ang virus has actually succeeded in cutting us off from each other? Actually, we walk in fear of one another, subong tungod sang virus. But do you think it has also shattered stereotypes?
Well, I think ang pandemic, because of social distancing, the only way that you can counter this, no, as far as I know and as far as this, ang subong bala nga pag-counter mo sini, the transmission is still contact, no? So the only way for us to counter this is to of course avoid contact or have space in between. That is where social distancing comes in, no? So I think ang stereotypes nga na-shatter is that sa ako nga nakita kung na kadamo sang kugis ang hindi mo pagbuligan si amo ni kay amo to hindi mo pag. But then again, these stereotypes are born out of our own personal, aton man nga pagpadako sa aton and what not. But sa sini nga pandemic nakita ko kadamo man sang does not matter who you are, where you live, anong status mo sa pangabuhi. Basta ang effort nga makahatag sila nga to share what they have to other people. Ako, I will tell you this story sa araw, gapanghatag ko personally food packs, kag may ato to gapang laba nga babae in front of her sari-sari store. It's not a big supermarket, sari-sari store, your typical. Gapang laba siya. Ginatagan ko siya, amo ko, Mare, ari, gapanghatag ko food packs. And ginambalan niya ko, sir, salamat gid. Pero mas mayo gid ihatag mo na lang to sa akon nga piyak balay nga wala gid ya. So hindi man gid to siya sili nga do supermarket gidabi, but sa iya lang nga kabubuton, ginambalya nga hindi kinahanglan ang kay may ara siya. So ginhatag namon sa piyak and the neighbors appreciated it. Mas madamo ang nalambutan sa aton resources nga gindala. So hindi kong gisa ang mga stereotypes nga kung abi mo anay ara sa mga amo nga mga lugar, they are selfish, they only think of themselves kag they are because of the limited man abi sa ilang resources accorded to them by their lifestyle. But may ara gali ng mga tao nga amo na sa sina nga mga lugar nga maalwan man gyapon, and they look after their neighbors. So this pandemic, this whole situation has taught me a lot.
Tell us a story you can't forget.
The story that I can't forget. Nagkato ko sa Takuling. This is one of those stories that I will never forget. Nagkato ko sa Takuling, a small community, borders ng Takuling kag Barangay Alihis sa dalom sang Taytay. And there were about 8 houses there. But on average, dito sa dalom sang balay, each family ang pinakanubo nga pamilya, 8 kabilog ila kabataan. So why can't I forget that? In that, sa 8 ka balay, may ara iban nga balay nga ila nga kabataan, 12 kabilog. Ang pinakalubo, 8 kabilog ila kabataan. Why I can't forget that? But you know what? These people were happy. Wala sila sa may makaon, nalipay siya nga nanaog kami to, naghatag kami to milk and food packs. But nakita mo to dito ang outlook ng mga buhi lain sa aton. They did not care about what happened. Ang ila to nga source of income, ang bana nila nagapamuto sang balas nga halin sa suba, which they sell for 30 pesos per sack. No? Amo na ilagay na pangabuhian, wala sang regular income, but sang atoto sila gahirupay sila, kasadya sila. No? But nakita mo kung anong sitwasyon nila, ipigado gid ay. But then again, their outlook in life totally differs from those people nga ara who are sheltered and layo lang abi sa ila. So I could never forget that scene. I think sa manaog ka to sa ila nga balay, manaog ka sa Taytay nga sansalon nga ginpaobra sang barangay status sa Dalom. But makita mo ang ilang outlook sa pangabuhi is totally different from, I think, from myself.
Which brings us to the question, should we be prepared for a new normal?
Well, I think we have no choice, no? What this pandemic has taught me personally, is that you can never prepare. Your sense of control, na ginhambal mo, that your sense of control, your program in your life, kung diin ka pakadto, has no meaning. No? It has taught me that there is the deeper sense of it all nga may ara kita sang Ginoo nga galantaw sa aton, because after all of this, wala ka na sang hangpan. There is no other bedrock to anchor on except your faith. Sa ako niya nga paglantaw mo na, because at any given point in time, I prepared myself for other things that are threats abi sa aton niya nga kabuhi and our loved ones. But in this case, you can never prepare for something like this.
What do you think will change even after i-lift ng mga quarantines?
Well, akadamo gid sa malain sini. Our economies will be dictated by what you can buy on the internet. People exposure, ang problema sila, the infrastructure has been already laid out. Like for example, we have big malls, ara to talaga congregate ang mga tao. But until and when that there is a long-term solution to this, like a a vaccine to this pandemic, nagapati ko nga diri ni siya subong everything online, and what you can order through the internet and through the phone, amo na siya ang mangibabaw subong. I think that is a major change in us. Although the transition will be hindi magina siya hindi siya budlay, because ara na ta exposed na ta sa social media and whatnot. But then again, ang kitaya, I don't know about you, but Filipinos are more communal than other countries. We tend to, every Saturday, Sunday, we tend to migrate to the malls. We see each and everybody in the malls. We congregate, naga-socialize na sa malls. I think that will be inaguro silang tao ko ba si maapektuhan ng ina natong lifestyle.
Should we embrace this change, or dapat try kita to restore that old normal?
But the thing is, do we have a choice? That is a question. Japan, kung lang taon mo in isang natabo sa ibang countries, and Japan resorted to that, siling nila wa niya kaso, amo niya mo to, but again ginhanot sila. Pagkatapos ng first wave, nag-second wave na sila, and I think dugin anticipate ang may third wave. Lain ang sitwasyon, and then when the body count starts rising, that is then again when we realize nga tutuod gali ni nga threat. America has also experienced that, And because of the American way of life, freedom, ang ilay ang agapangibabaw sa ila, look at this, what is happening to them, no? America, sa una, Italy was the top notcher, but now it's America, especially New York and other states, no? That makita mo, Illinois, I think, is fast catching up. Michigan is fast catching up. So it's because of their nature nga pangabal. Kaya mo ni, but when the body count starts rising, everybody realizes kaya tutuod ni hindi na tabag amo ni. So I think the question is nga kung if we return to the old normal, the only way that we can return to the old normal, I think if we have if government and the private sector will already have the health infrastructure in place to cater to this pandemic, no? Because as of now, we do not have the infrastructure to cater to this. That is our problem.
Yes. Let's go over some possible impacts of the pandemic. Example, civil rights. So war against terror, ga-resist pang Pinoy mo. Hindi pang iba magpa-check sang bag sa malls. And then a lot of things are being, complained about curtailment of civil liberties. But now, nga virus, no one seems to be, we will exchange our freedoms for that assurance of being safe. What do you think?
Well, tilang taon mo, under the Constitution, it is our inherent right for right to free travel, di ba? So, mong makadto ka lang to sa Villamonte, maagi ka sa checkpoint, di ba? And that is even within our borders of the city. So, not just curtailed, but we will be affected by our right to travel already. That is one of those things that are imminent.
But we accept it nevertheless.
Because we have no choice. Wala tasang choice. It is not just for the betterment of myself or yourself or sa aton in this room, but it is the betterment for everybody, not just in Bacolod, not just in Negros, but the entire country. The threat is not actually limited to our own place of comfort, like our barangay, our homes. The threat is so vast and expansive. The threat is threatening not just our country, but the entire human race. Ang problema tayo subong niya, bilog na nimo, this is a threat not just to an individual, but our entire human race. Amo na siyang problema tagit subong. The thing is, sa ako ng paglantaw nga because of this threat, these are control mechanisms set forth by men and to create these laws or constitutions and whatnot. But then again, here is a challenge nga wala niya pangilala kung ano nga border, ano nga politika, anong imo paminsaron, ano imo religion. This does not choose any of that. That's why it's a challenge to humanity itself. Amo na yung realization ta subong.
As you have pointed out, freedom of movement is affected. Even ang freedom to peaceably assemble, currently hindi allowed, but of course, who is complaining in the first place?
Exactly. It's a new normal. What is regarded as tawag lang mass gathering is 50 people and up. No? So, amo pag inang isa naton. But then again, we are beginning to conform to this new normal. We hope that someday that there will be a cure. But then again, sa ako nga paglantaw, the pandemic or the COVID-19 is evolving at a very, very fast pace. No? As I understand it, there's not just one strain, but already multiple strains. The last week nga nabalaan ko, there were already 3 strains identified related to COVID-19. So the virus is mutating. So amo nang aton nga ginalantaw nga ano. So we hope that the norms that we have already how do you call this, conceptualized to protect us will hold, because if not, masigi na siya nga dako. Ang akon nga niya that subong niya, government and the private sector should focus itself on coming up with the health infrastructures to cater to this threat, no? Okay, for example, again, kung basic lang niya, subong mamasakit ka dalong sa ospital, di ba? May dengue ka, which is also a big threat. May dengue ka, we already have the health infrastructure to cater to that. But with COVID-19, wala. That is, sa ako niyang paglantaw, dapat dira ta ma-concentrate subong.
Culturally, Councilor, how long do you think the Filipinos will be able to adjust to the new normal? Given nga, known man gid tayo as Filipinos ang close family ties ta, etc. So, how long do you think nga maka-adjust kita culturally?
Sa ako niya, the Filipino people, as a people, as a nation, and as Filipinos, we are we have this indomitable spirit. No? We can learn to adapt. Thus, kung makita mo, anywhere in the world, you can find Filipinos, especially Filipino nurses. No? So we can conform, we can adapt rapidly to our environment. That makes us, I don't think that that will be any different diri sa Bacolod, sa Negros, and the entire country. Ang Pilipino ay kabalo mag-conform, kabalo mag-adapt. We are very adaptive race. Sa akong nga paglantaw, basta makita lang na nila nga para man sa benepisyo lang naton tanan, I think mahimo tanan.
How do you think this would affect civil society engagement? Because there seems to be emerging models. I don't know if it's only me, but it seems like ang identity politics is falling by the wayside because of the pandemic. How do you see this?
Like how so? Can you...
It does not matter if I'm a worker or if I'm a capitalist. Doesn't matter if I'm gay, if I'm lesbian, if I'm bi. Everyone is trying to look for ways to help. I don't know. How do you see this?
I agree. Amo na gani kagina the stereotypes and the whatnot nga na nakita ko gid has been thrown out of the window because of our nature to help and first time I believe that I was one of the first to go to our frontliners sa aton nga border check-up points. I was one of the first nga naghatag out of government. Naghatag ko sila pamahaw, no? Naghatag ko sila pamahaw, naghatag ko water. And then again, after that, the day after, that first day, naglibot ko lihat nga mahatag, hindi na nila kinahanglan. Damo nang naghatag sa ila. Hindi nila nabalaan kung dinhalin, hindi nila nabalaan na kung government or private, but damo ang naghatag sa ila. And that continued, no? Sang ulihin na lang doon nag-wane siguro kay nagtama na kalawig. But ara gyapon constant gyapon ang ginatagan sang support sang aton pumuluyo. People would stop by their cars and just give food to our frontliners right then and there. So para sa akon, that is a testament to again the adaptability and the generosity of not just the Bacoleño but the Filipino people.
And some would say there could be a reshaping of the world order, geopolitics. There seems to be a shift. There seems to be. I mean, at least before this, China seems to be growing, and now that the pandemic struck, I don't know what will happen to them, but nevertheless, ang grand narratives doon nagkaka-shatter sa una. It's either you're left or right. It's either you are capitalist or you are socialist. So, Bong, do you think there is an opportunity to reshape things away from the grand narratives?
Well, I think that opportunity will come out of a realization that we need something more rather than what we have set up traditionally sa aton abing aton nga politika, not just globally but locally. So I think everything has to start somewhere, and that movement I think would start in your own backyard. Ina siya nga mga konsepto. And then that will snowball because ang demand for leadership sa subong has totally shifted. Lain ang pananaw sang tao subong sa aton nga mga leaders.
Why so?
Because nobody has prepared for this. Nobody has prepared for this. No government, no individual can prepare for this. Sa matter of fact, gapasulod pa lang kita, we did not even understand the scope of what will happen. And now, sa ako nga paglantaw, government is crippled by this. The economy is crippled by this, by COVID-19. Sa ako nga paglantaw, people are looking at new leadership.
Okay na ko.
Okay, in terms of leadership, don't you think nga ginsement niya ang old style of leadership, which is, of course, when you depend on government for patronage politics?
I don't think so, because government was not or is not capable of handling such the enormity of the need of the people. People looked up to the government. Amo na ganing naman ko, people are looking up to the government for the solution because wala ka naman kadtuan sa iban. But then again, wala na sang government, sang amo nga chimpo, people started to contribute independently of government to help others. So amo na siyang nakita ko sa sininga senaryo nga lain ni siya. Because tanan-tanan kita pamangkot di nakatong SAP, di nakatong SAC, di nakato ang government nga amo ni, but kung lang taon mo, we got by because a lot of people contributed to help each other hurdle this crisis. The thing is now, kung magtamaan pag ginikalawig, where do we get the resources for this? That is the question.
And some are saying actually nga because of the pandemic, it seems nga there is an opportunity to try a different kind of leadership, that we don't need formal power structures, like we don't need government actually. I'm not saying nga anarchic nga model, but a different kind. Nga communities can actually live on their own.
But then again, those are new models that we have to adapt to. I don't think sa ako nga paglantaw we are not prepared for that. Some sort of utopian siguro community based I don't think we're prepared for that. The Philippines is not.
Okay, let's go to challenges against the Duterte administration. Some are saying that government is inefficient. Well, some are questioning di nagatong kwarta. What do you think?
Well, the government is inefficient. The question is, which government is not? No? Because ang resources ng government are always limited. No? But then again, sa akon nga paglantaw, we tried to reach everybody. With what meager resources that government has, we tried to reach everybody. Unfortunately, we just could not. No? So mangita na sa balasulon. So importante subong I think is how do we rebuild after this? That is the question again, because the challenges are enormous. As I understand, the gross domestic product has declined 2% from the last time wala pa COVID, and the economists are saying that this 2% can be recovered not just in a year but 2 years after pa. So it's a very, very long struggle for that. So kadamo kita, I think ma-evolve ang the way that we do business. Even kita sa local government, ako I was looking at before COVID-19, I was looking at reviewing the local tax code. But now I am even looking at extending the vacation for the payment of local taxes. Because wala ta choice. That is my committee, the Committee on Ways and Means in the Sangguniang Panglungsod. So we are now running at models. How do we survive this? How do we survive this economically without disenfranchising our people who need government the most? And that is our lower income people.
So what you're trying to say is you will push for a moratorium?
Sa akon nga lantaw, we are running models right now kung anong himuon ta. Because there is a cry from the business sector nga i-hold anay ang collection of taxes to help them prepare our local businesses. So we are looking at that. We are open to that, and we will come up with a proposal for that.
You will make a proposal?
Yes.
As chair?
Yes, of the Committee on Ways and Means.
All right. Now, of course, understandably, a lot of people are angry at the local government right now. What can you say about that?
But again, anger is born out of sometimes a lack of understanding or lain ang paghangop nila sa roles ng government naton. That's why nga talang kadamo sang reklamo, kadamo sang shortcomings. We accept that. But then again, we take responsibility also for the greater good of the majority of our people. So I think that how we do that in the near future is very, very important to what we now know as to be leaders ng aton nga syudad. That is a very big challenge, unprecedented. Subong wala kita income, and then people are demanding so much from the government. But I know that the leadership of our local leadership, Mayor Bing, we can find ways to improve the understanding of our people with what the local government is supposed to do for its constituency.
Can you give us 4 takeaways out of this pandemic? What should we bring forward?
Well, number one, what should we bring forward to this pandemic? You mean as individuals or?
Lessons collectively, individually.
What is ako niya ang lessons gid nato niya that again, no? My self-realization out of all of this is what kind of preparation, whatever it is that you have a sense of control over, even my own life or whatever, is out, no? How to deal with this in a way that you can make sense of it, I don't think you can, no? Because if you look at this, the only way I can describe this is of biblical proportions already. Hindi mo siya makaptan. Kung gahambal ka nga ano natabo ni sa aton, amo na. Sa ako niya nga paglantaw wala. So what can we do to further us after this? That is the question. That is the question that pamangkoton ko lawas ko, pamangkoton ta sa aton nga gobyerno. That is why that we are now running models on the best way to handle this. Not just my office, but a consensus coming from the business community, a consensus coming from our stakeholders there is a Bacolod. That is what we need to do.
Finally, if we are to choose a quote from a poem or anything to describe what we are facing now, ano na siya?
Celer, Silens, et Mortalis. That is a Latin verse which means swift, silent, and deadly. That is the motto of the Marine Reconnaissance Forces of the United States Marine Corps. Swift, silent, and deadly. So sa subong niya amo na yung makarelate ko. We never expected it to move that fast. It was swift. We never knew where it came from. It's silent, except subong there are fingers pointing towards China. And deadly. When it hits you, it's not just deadly if you survive it, but it's deadly financially for those who are affected by it. So amo nang akon nga na that is the Latin maxim that comes to my mind when about all of this COVID pandemic.